A site that answers in 3 seconds instead of 300 milliseconds is slow. But it is noted down, and if your monitoring counts that as downtime, then your uptime report is wrong. Slow response alerts in Uptime Robot let you set up a response time threshold on a monitor and get notified when performance drops, separately from the checks that decide whether a service is up or down. That separation is what keeps an availability number honest when you hand it to a client, a manager, or an SLA. In this video, I'm going to show you how to decide which is which, how to set the thresholds without spam you, and how to report both numbers. The one test that decides down or degraded. Start with the only question that matters. Was the request served? If the response comes back, even slowly, the service was available. That's degradation. If the request error, timed out, or got no response at all, the service was unavailable. That's downtime. The causes usually differ too. Downtime normally means something broke. Slowness normally means something is under load, a traffic spike, a busy database, a third-party service dragging its feet. Logging both as down erases that difference at exactly the moment you need it. A threshold that's only fires when it matters. Edit the monitor you want and scroll down to advanced settings. Expand that and you'll find slow response time alert. Switch it on, then type your threshold into the box underneath. The range runs from 50 to 5000 milliseconds. Pick a number based on what your service actually does, not a round figure that sounds good. If typical responses land around 200 milliseconds, a threshold near a second gives you real warning without firing on noise. One slow check is rarely a problem on its own. Uptime Robot accounts from that. A slow response alert only goes out after 3 or 5 consecutive checks cross your thresholds. You get a second notification when response times come back under it. So the slow period has a start and an end you can point to later. Just above the toggle, notice request timeout. Set to 30 seconds by default. Those two settings mark out the whole territory. Your threshold decides when slow is worth an alert. The timeout decides when slow stops counting as served at all. One thing worth knowing before you go looking for it, slow response alerts come with paid plans, not the free tier. One slow region is not a global outage. Performance varies by geography, and a routing problem in one region isn't an outage everywhere. On paid plans, you can monitor from up to 4 regions: North America, Europe, Asia, and Australia. Checks rotate through them in order. When several regions are configured, you get a separate response time threshold for each one, which matters because acceptable latency from a server in Frankfurt looks very different in Sydney. Set them independently. Each region's slow response alerts are then tracked and resolved on their own. So a slow afternoon in Asia stays a slow afternoon in Asia instead of becoming a line in your global outage log. 2 numbers, not one. When the report goes out, give availability and performance as 2 separate figures. Uptime Robot already works this way. Cross your threshold and you get the alert and the logged incident, while the uptime percentage stays exactly where it was. Availability answers whether requests were served, performance answer how fast. You also get a performance history you can use. When the service runs slow, how long it lasted, and how it lines up with a deploy or a traffic event. And the exception is worth stating plainly. If a service gets so slow that requests never complete, that isn't degradation anymore. That's downtime and it belongs in the availability number. Overall, served or not served decides the state. The threshold plus 3 or 5 route decides the alert. and to separate numbers, make the report honest. In the description box, you'll find a related article with more details. If you haven't already, you can start monitoring for free with 50 monitors and no credit cards needed. Thanks for watching and happy monitoring!